Yeah, I mean, it did. I do think that, when you have limited bodies, you still don't get to rest. Like, obviously, Sarah and Jamie played more today than they played in any of those 3 games in Cancun, and some of that was, I'm just trying to rest Jaden. She's had some lower leg issues, and I just need her healthy, so, just wasn't going to go with her and play her a few minutes if I could keep her off of it. And so because of that, I mean, ultimately our post didn't get overplayed, but those two obviously did. So, but I mean, when you're making shots the way Sarah was, it's not such a bad thing to stay in the game.
Um, Adding to that, did Jordan kind of get inadvertently punched in the gut, or
Yeah, yeah. I think she could have come back, but why? It's kind of one of those situations where, um, she's an old woman on this team. It's a 6th year, and she's logged a lot of miles. And when I have a chance to rest her, I'm going to, because she's a downhill player. She's aggressive, and so, I do think that was just good defense on her part. That kid raised her knee just to make a play, not with any intent. And so, I asked her if she wanted to go back in the game, and she said she'd rather stay out. Considering the situation, I think if it had been a closer game, she would have come back.
Was it obviously good to see Sarah shoot like that? I mean, particularly the way she started the game.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I think, that's what. Yeah, and I wouldn't even say she's been in a shooting slump. I mean, she hasn't taken a ton of threes lately, but she's hit timely threes in Cancun, in the second half of games. And so, to me, with Sarah, so much of it is learning to play through fatigue. She's such a electric player. You can see her, the speed she has with the ball in her hands, and the things she can do with it. But really, she's never had a real off season, at Baylor. I mean, coming into her freshman year, there was COVID, and they didn't, have a true preseason and a summer. And then, with her shoulder injury, she didn't really get to do anything this summer. And so, she's going to play her way into shape. She's really like learning to battle through fatigue, make shots when she's tired, defend when she's tired. She kind of wears her fatigue a little bit more, than others. Jamie may get fatigued, but you just never see it. Like her expression never changes, her intensity on the ball never changes. And so I mean, having her get in shape now, so she's truly in shape by Big 12 season, will be really important for us.
was it a matchup zone they were playing? Like they pretty much stuck in it.
Yeah, I mean, it was a 2-3. Obviously, they were down bodies. They were down their leading scorer. Their coach begged me to be nice before the game started, and thanked me afterwards. But they were in stall game all night, and that's hard. I mean, I don't think fans understand how hard it was to defend for 22 seconds on every possession before they really tried to score. And they had done the same thing against Michigan State. I mean, they're certainly undermanned right now, but that's hard. It's hard to stay intense. It's hard to transition from kind of this slow pace in the half court on the defensive end, and then get in transition. And we started to do some simple things in the high-low game late, that we probably could have done all game long. But we obviously were making threes, and so you kind of balance that with the inside game. And so, yeah, I mean, it was a plain old 2-3 zone. I mean, they were maybe going to rise on a flash if it was Liz, and they were going to bring some help, anytime she caught the basketball. But otherwise, I mean, it was straight 2-3 zone.
Given that you said it, how hard it is to defend when they're stalling like that, to have them shoot 1 of 16 from the field in the third quarter, keep them to one banked in 3 pointers, is that a pretty good effort?
Yeah, I mean, and 2 banked in threes in the game. So, they had 3 made threes, and 2 of them were banked in, and, late clock, and even that is a teaching moment, because, it's end of quarter, and they have to get it off. So you almost have to treat everybody like a shooter in that situation, and not have them have a momentum play going into a half, going into a quarter. But yeah, I mean, I thought for the most part we stayed intense. You can probably hear me saying shooter, shooter, and really getting us to play with a high hand. Like they don't shoot the basketball well as a team, but the whole point that we're trying to, I mean, we're going to play Missouri on Saturday, and 42% of their shots are threes. And they're going to shoot a high percentage, only to be outdone by Iowa State that shoots over 50% of their shots are threes. And so we're going to have to defend the three-point line. So, taking the approach that even if it's not a great three-point shooter, we're going to play with high hands. We're going to guard them the right way. We're going to treat them like it's a player that does shoot 40% from the field and be able ready to protect the paint and be in rotation if we get beat. But I think that was our goal. Not take possessions off on defense. Like the word for today was dominate. Like the idea of like, we can compete, but we want to dominate, and when we're supposed to, we should. So regardless of if the person you're guarding is not as good as you, dominate them. If you're better than them offensively, dominate them. Like that's the mindset we want when we step out on the court individually and collectively.
Nick, you look like Queen had some dynamic plays tonight, just really both ends, but a couple of offensive kind of dynamic.
Yeah, I'd say Queen found her mojo in Cancun, and I hope she just keeps on rolling with it. She's the one I challenged not to get bored defending around the perimeter as possessions went along. But I think she's someone that I think she can play in the high post. I think she can make some simple plays. I mean, obviously she's going to tip the ball around, and she's so long she gets offensive rebounds. But she made some good passes, and to have 4 assists and no turnovers, from that position, that was really key. I thought she had a nice drop pass to Caitlin, and just made some simple plays in the post and took care of the basketball. So. I think she's playing confidently. I think she's more than capable of making an open 15-footer, and taking her time. She made some plays in practice yesterday that were, quite frankly, spectacular. So when she catches the ball and she takes her time and she doesn't rush, she's got a pretty good pivot foot, and we're trying to get her to simplify a little bit. And she tends to want to stick to right shoulder middle turns. And a lot of times a simple little drop step will get you a 3-point play. So, I think she's playing well, and I think she's playing confidently, and we just need to keep riding that.
Y'all had a lot of deflections in the first half, created 10 turnovers. The stats only had you with 9 points off turnovers, though. So is there a little bit of a disconnect?
Yeah, I just don't think we filled and made shots in those situations. I also think, when you think about, we had 13 offensive rebounds and turned them into 11 points. That's not good enough either, from a statistical perspective. We missed some easy ones. We missed some around the rim. We missed some open threes. Sometimes you deflect it and it goes out of bounds. And so how many of those are live ball turnovers versus dead ball turnovers? That's a huge difference because points off turnovers count either way. But one, you're creating numbers, and I don't think we played as fast as we could to begin the game. Amazingly, our tempo was picking up late in the game. Sarah was really playing through fatigue. I think K-Mac got in transition a couple times. Jamie got a steal. So I think some of it is defined by what type of turnovers and are we really filling and filling well in transition.
Seemed like Melissa kind of struggled a little bit turning the ball over early, but still after 3 quarters ended up with a double-double. How nice is it having someone who can just dominate in different facets of the game?
Yeah, and I think for her, I think she's real. She's going to get more touches in a big game. This is one of those games you want to get her some run, and you want to get her not injured. You want the game to end and for her to feel good. And she had a little bicep issue coming off of Cancun and some other things. And so, I'm sure for some people saying 26 minutes is, it's the situation we're in right now. But I don't think if I played her 18 minutes, she'd have been happy. Quite frankly, I don't think. But, I thought if she makes a couple easy baskets, she had a nice baseline drive, she'd have been at 16 points and been not that far off her average, even in limited minutes. So, I just think that's a kid that rises to the moment. In a big game, she plays different, and so, I know that having a day off tomorrow and then as we prepare for Missouri, we'll have a huge challenge in front of us because, Liz and Queen are going to have to defend the arc at a high level. on Sunday, and that's going to challenge them. I mean, I personally think the game's going to come down to, do we get to them or do they get to us? Because I think both teams could put the other post in foul trouble based on how they play. So we need to get to them before they get to us. You tell I've been watching Missouri's. All right. Saturday night. Bring a friend. Have them bring a friend. I don't know if it's a whiteout, but I'm making it an unofficial whiteout.
To get it going from three-point range today.
I felt really good. I think coming into the game, I was challenged, and I accepted the challenge by Coach Tony. He told me to play every game with energy. And so tonight I just came out with energy, and I really thank my teammates. You know, they got me the ball in the right spots tonight, and I was just able to knock down shots.
Sarah, was that one of the nights where you felt like everything was going to go in, particularly when you saw the first couple of those?
After the first two, I was like, all right. Then the third one went in, and I just believed anything could go in after that.
That room was like an ocean, boy.
Man.
Is that, I mean, I believe your career high for three-pointers in a game at Baylor was 2. Was that something in high school or AAU ball that you would hit maybe 4, 5, 6 in a game at times?
Yes, I think I've always been able to shoot the ball pretty well, and I'm just starting to get my confidence shooting the ball behind the arc each and every game.
Queen, Nikki said she felt like you kind of hit your stride, got your mojo back in Cancun. Did you feel like that carried over tonight? I just looked like you had some dynamic plays on really both ends.
Yeah, I had that talk with Nikki, and she just reiterated what she expects from me and how she expects me to be playing every night. And so I just try to live up to those expectations. And if I can't do anything, the least I can do is bring energy and get rebounds every now and then. So that's what I try to do and help my team any way I can.
Was it difficult tonight to stay tuned in because they're milking the clock on their possessions, they're playing zone on you guys, so maybe you guys in the interior aren't as active as you normally would be, and that's in an offensive situation? Was it just difficult to stay in tune?
Not for me because I was doing a lot of talking to my guards. Maybe for the guards a little bit because it's just pass and cut. They're not really looking to score. But I was doing a lot of talking, so I had to make sure everybody knew that a screen was coming. I don't want anybody to be surprised and get hurt by a back screen. So for me, no. Probably for other people, maybe.
Sarah, y'all held them to single-digit points in every quarter. Was that a big emphasis coming in tonight on the defensive end, or did that just happen?
I think, over time you've seen our defense grow. And I think down the line, defense wins championships. So why not start tonight and each and every game building up to it?
I feel like you guys are kind of ready for another big challenge. I mean, Missouri's undefeated. They're coming in for the Big 12 SEC challenge. You feel like you're kind of ready for one like that?
Oh, yeah, I think we're ready. Each and every game we're prepared for anybody. So I think we're really ready for Saturday.
Thanks, ladies.
Thank you.